Hey crafty friends, this is Jenny from crafttestdummies.com, and today I'm going to give you a little video overview of the Cricut Mini, one of the new offerings from Provocraft. Actually, it's not what I would consider new, it's about a year old, but it's the newest machine they have, and it also has some really interesting differences. If you're used to Cricuts, this is a little bit different, so I want to make sure you got a chance to see it from my perspective. So first off, I'm going to show you that this machine is a lot smaller than any of the other Cricuts. This measures about 16 inches long, about 7 inches deep, and I think a whopping 3.5, 3 3/4 inches high. So this machine will actually fit very nicely on your shelf, and you can just pull it out and plug it in when you need it. Because there's no screen, because there are really no buttons except for the on button and the load mat button, it's a very streamlined machine, and it's really light. It is only maybe like 5 pounds or 7 pounds. But so you really could keep this on a shelf when you need it, hook it up to your PC or your Mac, and then get to cutting. Now that being said, you do need to have a computer in order to use the Cricut Mini. You need to have that Craft Room software, which is free by the way, downloaded into your machine and installed on your computer in order for this to work. So there is a cartridge port right here, so if you have cartridges or you want to buy a cartridge, you can still use cartridges, but you must use the Craft Room software in order to cut. That's just how this machine works. So on the back, you'll see here, this is where the mat slides out. You've got your place for your electrical cord and the slot for your USB, which connects to your computer. And then on the front, you'll see that you have a nice hinged gray dust screen. This is kind of a fun thing. There's actually enough space here so you can slide your mat in and out and keep that dust screen down, you know, all the time. The dust cover never really has to come up if you don't want it to. And like I mentioned, you've got a power button and a mat load and unload button. And that's really all there is to the overview of the machine. I'll show you in a moment the mat and some of the cuts I've made, and we'll go from there. But this is the Cricut Mini. Jenny from Craft Test Dummies here. I'm making one of my first cuts with my new Cricut Mini, and I thought I would show you kind of what it's doing. The little lid is down and it's going. It's pretty quiet, but as you can see, there's only 2 buttons on the front, a power button and a load mat button. And then here is where it's going to spit out the mat at the back. But that's it. There are no buttons on the Cricut Mini. Everything is done on your laptop or your PC. So that's pretty something else, completely different than what normal Cricuts do. So more coming soon. Okay, so my first cut with the Cricut Mini is done, and actually I have 2 cuts here. One is the little thank you that kind of came as the tester, and then this is actually a thank you card which came along with the software that you download. So I'm just going to peel this off and we'll see how it works. And I'm just going to try peeling this off with my fingers. This is the first time I use this mat, and Cricut mats are very sticky when you first get them. As a matter of fact, they're so sticky, sometimes it is hard to remove the image, but this is doing very well. This is nice. Look how pretty, and you can see just how delicate these cuts are, and I won't be able to show you close up, but I can tell you that the cuts are all perfect. They're all very, very nice. And here's the leftovers, and if I were smart, what I'd do is take a little bit of transfer paper, pick this up, run it through the Xyron machine, and use it for something else, because that's good stuff. I hate to waste anything. And here is the other thank you test cut. And again, whoop, this one left a T behind, but nothing too bad. There we go. So just another thing to point out about the Cricut mats, they are 8.5 by 11 inches long, or I guess technically it's 8.5 by 12 inches long, so you can still use a 12-inch sheet of scrapbook paper without having to cut it down at least on one side. But this was really made to be much more user-friendly for people who like to use 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. So there you go, and now we'll move on to the next portion. Okay, so the last thing I want to show you are some of the cuts that I made in better detail. This was the sample cut. It says thank you. And this is a textured cardstock, and the cuts came out very nicely. I was very proud of myself. This is an image that I downloaded. It's from the Quilted Ornaments collection, which was on sale today. And this is glitter cardstock, and it cut out very nicely. Actually, I still need to poke out some of the little teeny weeny bits. But I was able to both download and then cut a file in a relatively short amount of time. So that was my big fear, was that how difficult would it be to download and use them. I did find out that once you have downloaded an image from Cricut.com, it's better for you to close out your Cricut Mini application and then fire it back up again. And then it will detect that there's a new digital download in its library. And then lastly, this is something from the Rock Princess cartridge, which I linked up. And this little Lucky is literally about 1.5 inches long and about 1/4 inch wide. And yet it still cut it out quite beautifully. I'm actually going to put these two things together and make a pretty little card. So I find that the quality of the cuts with the Cricut Mini is exactly what I have been used to and what I expect. If you already have a Cricut machine and you're interested in the Cricut Mini as an option, if you're looking for something lightweight, you're looking to ditch your cartridges and go all digital, then this is a great alternative. Also, if you're just tired of having to deal with so many buttons and you'd rather just work on your desktop, this is also a great machine for that. So that's been my overview of the Cricut Mini from Provocraft. Thank you so much. If you found this video helpful, we would love it if you would give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you don't mind, subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss a single Craft Test Dummies review. Thanks so much and have a crafty day.